Hey guys, Clone Wars, and today we're going to talk about three monsters with, well, we're going to talk about Buster Blader. Buster Blader specifically and his fusion cards. More or less, we're going to be talking about his fusions more than Buster Blader himself, but this is what it comes down to. So, our first card is, well, obviously Buster Blader. And if you don't know, his effect is that he gains 500 attack for each dragon-type monster in the opponent's field or graveyard. So this is obviously a really great card. I use this card in my dragon deck, my Blue Eyes deck, for anti-dragon reasons. What's the word? Not anti-dragon. When I'm going against a mirror match. That's what it is, mirror match. I use him for mirror matches, specifically because he can take down a dragon really well, especially if the other people only has, even if he summons one Blue Eyes, he's still stronger, because it'd be at 3100. So this is Buster Blader. His first fusion, I think, that ever came out was Dark Paladin. Dark Paladin is a fusion between Dark Magician and Buster Blader, obviously. Dark Paladin is Buster Blader and Dark Magician, and his effect is must be fusion summoned and cannot be special summoned by other ways. During either player's turn, when a spell card is activated, you can discard one card, then negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card. This card must be face up on the field to resolve and activate this effect, and he gains 500 attack for each dragon type monster in the field or graveyard. He also has 2900, so he's already 300 points stronger than Buster Blader, and he's a spellcaster type instead of a warrior type. So Dark Paladin is a really good card. Ish. I say ish because of his new fusion, Buster Blader's new fusion. Dark Magician's new fusion is nothing. Dark Magician has a couple fusions. I don't have it. I have one of them. This one. This one's even common. It makes me sad. But this is the real reason why I'm making this video, and that is for Buster Blader, the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman. I know this video isn't really, that clear, but he has a pretty long effect, and he has a 2800. Now, he is 100 points weaker base from Dark Paladin, but hear me out. His effect is great. Must be fusion summoned and cannot be special summoned by other ways. This card cannot attack directly. Okay, that's already a downside. You really don't want to play this card because you can't attack directly. Or do you? This card gains 1000 attack and defense for each dragon type monster your opponent controls or is in their graveyard. Alright, so that's pretty good. Already 1000 attack. That's double both Buster Blader's and Dark Paladin's attack, which they would gain. Change all dragon type monsters your opponent controls and change all dragon type monsters your opponent controls into defense position, and dragon type monsters in your opponent's control cannot attack and or activate their effects. Wow, that is already overpowered. Let me keep going. If this card attacks a defense position monster, it inflicts piercing damage. Alright, so basically, when you summon this card, he can turn all dragon monsters into defense mode, and then, on top of that, he does piercing damage, so no matter what, you're going to do battle damage, and on top of that, he gains 1000 damage and defense for each dragon type monster. So if they're running, say, Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon for some reason, they're most likely going to have 3 monsters in the graveyard, plus they're going to have Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. That's 4000 extra attack, so he's already a 6800 beater. And on top of that, Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, could not activate his effect, which means he could not attack more than once, he cannot attack period, and he cannot defend himself by discarding himself to the graveyard. Now, there is one downside to this. because of the new structure deck, there is one beautiful card that came out called Return of the Dragon Lords. Return of the Dragon Lords is currently $650. It's crazy, but that's not the point. Return of the Dragon Lords, you can discard this card and negate the effects. Yes, you can negate the effects of what would happen to the Dragon-type monster, but he'd still gain the attack, and he could still whoop your butts. That is my point. The fusion of Buster Blader has not gotten worse. It has gotten better. That is why I run Buster Blader in my Blue Eyes White Dragon deck, which has recently been updated a little bit. My Lord of Blue Eyes White Dragon deck. I might even go full vanilla Blue Eyes if you want to see something like that. I have a Dark Magician deck. I mean, look at this. There's a Dark Magician deck. It's not done. It's not done. It's so expensive to make. If anybody has any place where they like to buy cheap cards or something, please tell me. I'm interested. Because Dark Magician deck is not easy to make, especially when you have Dark Renewal. Different topic for a different day. Also, can't play Dark Paladin. Itemize is $50. But anyways, if you're ever going to run Buster Blader in any deck, please run at least another dragon type monster with him. Buster Blader and these are just really two great cards. None of them are first edition, unfortunately. This one came out of Legendary Collection, Yugi's World, and this one came out of the mail. Not the point. Please run him. If you do run Dark Paladin for some reason, use Itemize. Don't use Buster Blader and Polymerization. I used that deck. It broke a lot. That's why this deck is so hard to make, and it's even harder to make because his stuff is so freaking expensive. Like, I'm trying to run tuners in this deck. I just ordered 2 Spellcaster tuners. I'm using Mirror Resonator. It actually isn't that bad to use. So I could run Stardust. But that's not the point. The point is, God, this deck is nice. It's using these 2 cards, you'll love whooping on some dragons. If you make an anti-dragon deck, which would be probably anti-meta, because of Blue Eyes White Dragon right now, that's your card. And it works with the Blue Eyes deck for artwork reasons, for me. It looks like when you fuse him, it looks like he fused with Blue Eyes. I would say in the manga, probably. I don't read the manga. Manganuga. But it's like the same thing with Red Eyes, where Red Eyes keeps getting better and better. Except for that you just can't beat this. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I've been ordering cards to try to give you guys more deck profiles. It seems that when you guys really like the Dark Magician deck profile, Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile, the plan is to try to get more Dark Magician support and or Blue Eyes White Dragon support, because the Blue Eyes White Dragon is obviously my favorite card. I've told you guys this. I'm gonna put that there while I talk for a minute. But the Blue Eyes White Dragon is my favorite card, so I'm guessing I could do like a vanilla, which means it'd be like straight up Blue Eyes White Dragon. That means like no him, no Red Eyes Darkness Metal, no. Well, that's a new card I added. I shouldn't tell. No Arc Brave, no Divine Dragon Lord of Felgrand, none of that. Just straight up. I'd probably use the same spells, but I'd just take out some of the monsters. Should be fine. I use the same spells anyways. So I've been thinking, and there's obviously the Chaos form. Blue Eyes White Dragon is actually pretty cheap right now. Not this one. This one is pretty expensive actually. The Blue Eyes White Dragon is pretty cheap on his own, and I already have what two other ones. So I can make its own separate deck. I could have one Blue Eyes White Dragon Felgrand deck, and then I could have one Blue Eyes White Dragon deck whenever Return of the Dragon Lords goes for a cheaper price. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. See ya.